Hey everyone, welcome on another episode of Set It Off. You already know it's me, your girl Simply Sin. And before we get started, I want to do something different. I want to make sure that you remember to go ahead and click on that button in the bottom. Make sure you subscribe because it is very important for you to keep up with us. The only way you're going to do that is by subscribing. So you can know every time we're going to post, you can know every topic that we're talking about, and you can obviously stay in tune with us. So don't forget. And on the other side of the mic, you already know who's here with me. It's the coolest mom that you know, the hardest working woman, the sweetest and caring soul, Miss Wendy P. And my best friend, of course. What's
What's
up,
up?
girl?
Here we are, episode what, 9? Hey.
So nice. So before we get started, you already know this is the place where we're keeping it real, raw, and unfiltered. Don't forget that. What's going on, girl? What's up? Talk to me.
Nothing much here, same old thing. Just another day.
Another day.
One
Usually I would have said another day, another dollar, but that's not the point right now.
day.
One day that would be the case. So
Oh.
we're here, um, we're gonna change things up today because we've been asked a lot of questions lately, and a lot of people like to know our input on certain stuff. So when we sit here and we ask you guys, what do you have any questions that you want to tell us? Anything that you want to point out to us that you might be concerned about and you don't know, you might not have the right response. I mean, hey, maybe we don't even have the right response, but at the end of the day, I feel like we could obviously all be in the same place. So I want to start with talking about value. You know that we've been seeing this a lot on social media,
Hmm.
on the blogs, on podcasts. I love watching other podcasts. And I know that value is such a touchy subject because women, and I speak for myself, we always like to say that we're very high value women. We know what we bring to the table. We're looking for high value men. But to me, it's like, what is high value? Because high value doesn't mean just what you're bringing to the table as far as money, because you're a
Exactly.
career woman, because you work and you pay your own bills because you live by yourself. So is that what women are considering value nowadays? I don't know.
Well,
What do you think? Because maybe I'm wrong.
no, I agree with you. Like for me, like if I'm gonna look into dating someone, it's really hard because you're looking at what could I bring to the table? What can this person bring to the table as well? Whether it's work, whether it's relationship wise, or whether you're family oriented, that all goes into what you're looking for, right? So for me, if I know that I could take care of everything on my own, and I'm bringing someone in, what are you going to bring into the table? And like you mentioned, it is not always about the money, but how do you balance each other out, right? How do you bring the value to the relationship? And that applies to work, friendships. If there's no value, you have nothing. You know what I
Right.
mean? So,
I feel the same way. Value should be everything in a relationship. I mean, you're not just bringing in, like you said, you're not just bringing in money, but you're also like, okay, so this is my thing. Women use that a lot. Um,
mhm,
Women mention that all the time, and we're in this era where women are losing their feminine. There's a word I don't want to say it
they're losing.
for sure. But women are losing like their feminine side because they're becoming more like masculine. Because women are no longer is no longer a team thing. It's no longer a guy and a girl or girl and a guy. It's more like I could do it all on my own. I am that bitch. I am that woman. I don't need a man. I mean, this is literally on my algorithm all day. So my thing is, okay, this is a woman saying that she has high values, right? She knows what she brings to the table, and she is requiring to be reciprocated the same by a man. So now, what happens when the man asks her, "What do you bring to the table?"
Which
So
I
do
think
you?
that man has the right to ask that because
Thank
there's
you. I see.
right? Like for example, and it's crazy because a lot of people when they hit us up, it always ends up being going back to relationship stuff. That's like the hardcore of everything, right? And some people are like, okay, the same way we expect certain things, the man is gonna expect certain things too. Ah, because
That's
you're
my
pretty. Oh, you're pretty. That's the only thing you bring. That's the only value you have because you're pretty and you have a nice body. But what else? Can I take you to my mom? Can I introduce you to my family? Are you family oriented? What if you have, okay, you're pretty, you have a nice body, but you're not family oriented, and now you're coming into a man that's family oriented. So what value are you bringing to him? What, your looks? That's not enough.
Right. So that's okay. So this is something that I thought about earlier that I have wrote prior to this. My response to the person is, if you don't know who you are as a woman, you understand? Like if you don't know who you are as a woman, then what makes you valuable
Right.
be with someone else, because I feel like that also plays a big role. You ask a lot of time when you ask a woman, well, like what are your what are you so value, like what are you so high value on, like what are you so like what are you so it's a word that they said, I don't want to say it's high maintenance, but it's like you keep on saying, oh, I could reciprocate whatever the man brings to the table, but then when they ask you the question, you're stuck on just I'm a working woman, I
Right.
cook, I clean. Yeah, that's all part of being a woman. Because if you ever want to get married, I mean, realistically speaking, marriage consists of that. Like you have to know how to groom a man, right? You got to know how to groom yourself. You got to know how to cook, clean, and do the normal stuff. So somebody said, I can't tell you all day who I think you are, but if you don't know that yourself, you show up as that person, then your focus should be to remain on getting to know yourself and not be in a romantic relationship. Women love to talk about value, but they don't even know what type of value they bring. And I
Agree.
think that's, I completely agree with that, right? Um, so from there, the conversation jumped to, I just think that men shouldn't ask a woman that, this is not me saying, this is what they're saying. Men shouldn't ask a woman what you bring to the table. And just like you just said, I completely disagree. Also, I think that a man is entitled to, but I also think that men should be a little bit smarter nowadays, right? You, before you go spend that dollar on the first date, I think that you should get to know the person. Because
Exactly.
my thing is, us women always have a master plan. Like we're always thinking 10 steps ahead when we're going on that date, or when we're getting ready to date, when we're getting
Right.
ready to pursue somebody, right? We're always thinking always ahead. So it's not my fault that you're like a pendejo that wants to sit here and take me on a first date to a very expensive restaurant and waste $200 just because you want to show me like a version of you just for that moment to catch my attention. So at the end of the day, if I don't go on a second date with you, now I'm a bad person. Now I look bad. So I
Right.
think that a lot of men, they are the ones that cause that amongst themselves. Because
Right.
if you want to get to know somebody, you should start dating them. And by dating them, I don't mean take them on a date right away to go eat at a fancy restaurant.
Conversations.
Observe them.
People don't want to have conversations. Like
Yeah.
literally, they don't want to have conversations. Like, what if you don't have no conversation? You're boring to me. Like, so we're just gonna sit on the phone. We're just gonna be on the date. You're just gonna be on your phone. Why? I think too. I had a person that reached out to me saying, um, oh, the reason why he hasn't gotten into a relationship or even thought about marriage or more or had kids was because he wanted to make sure he was financially stable. And I had never heard a man say, I didn't rush or haven't rushed because I'm not financially stable at that when I first started, right? So, and then we talk about, oh, dating is bad for us, but dating is bad for guys too, as you stated, because what value are you bringing? If you have a man that is making over 100 grand, got his shit together, property, whatever the case is, and you think because you're pretty, that's it, that's the value right there. No, you need you. A man wants a woman that got her shit together as well. That's thinking maybe they have similar interests. But no, esta mujer de ahora, like, oh no, I'm pretty, so I could get. I'm the trophy. I could get it. Yeah, you could be the trophy, but like you stated, what are you bringing to the table?
Yeah, and the problem is it is hard, like you said, for men, because this is the thing. So women could sit here and say, well, I have like 10 niggas on my DM every single day because everybody wants you. No, they don't want you.
I
They
want one
just
thing.
they just want something else from you because this is what you're portraying as a woman. So getting a lot of people like to get very like to feel really good about themselves when they say, guys are always on my DM after me, but they're not really after you because they want to pursue a relationship with you. They're after you because they're seeing the image that you're portraying on social media. So for them, it's like, you're just going to be a moment thing. You're just going to be somebody
Exactly.
that I'm going to respect, but I'm going to give the attention to because this is clearly what you're seeking, right? So that's definitely a big thing to me because it is, like you said, hard for guys to date. I didn't really notice that as much until I would get into conversations with my man and he would give me examples. Because a guy has to try different ways to try to get your attention, right? And you might ignore him, you might delete the DM, you might not answer, you might not this, versus a girl, the guys is constantly trying. So it is hard. It is hard, and I do think that we have to do a little bit better in also understanding certain men. Not again, I've always stated the same thing. Not all men are the same. A
Right.
man should be able to ask you, what do you bring to the table? Because you know what, men want compassion, men want vulnerability, men want patience. Men want peace. Men want loving. Men want somebody to care, somebody to be submissive to them. Men want all of that. So when they necessarily ask you, what do you bring to the table? They're not just saying, what do you bring financially? Because, I mean, to me, as I'm thinking, a real man knows that he's a provider. So at the end of the day,
Exactly.
he just wants to know, what value do you have as a woman? You know,
Right.
what characteristics do you have as a woman? Don't just sit here and think that because bitch you got an ass and some nice titties and a pretty face that this is all you bring. Oh wait, and I work. Okay, we're in this generation where everybody works.
Exactly.
Your kids work. My kids work. Like, what does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. Like, so
No.
what else comes with it? So I think that we need to stop being. I am all for girl power. You know, I do think that women run the world, but I do think that you have to have some type of like limit. You
Right.
understand? You
Mhm.
have to kind of be, and I know you're always been more like that when it comes to me, like very understanding and very like not against men. You know, you're understanding of that, and you always agree. I think now I'm learning that as I as I go more, that is like, wait, hold on, what? Did this girl really just say that? Like,
Right. There's girls that like they bash men, and it's not to defend them, right? Because like there's good women out there, there's good men, but
right,
a lot of times it's like, what are you like? What are you doing? Like you're not doing anything. Like the fact that you have a group of women, and let's say different ages, and maybe there's one or two that just sit there and you can't even have a conversation with another female. Why would anyone be interested in you? I,
right.
I won't, I won't be interested in someone that I can't even have a conversation. So again, I say it, well, we're gonna be on the phone and not say anything.
Right,
You
100%.
know,
I agree.
it's to me that's mind blowing.
So this is why my advice to men. Sorry, I can't see. My advice to men is, if you're gonna start dating, like, okay, at this point, interview the girls just like the women do, because I mean, you're single right now, right? So
Right.
I'll ask you, if you were to go on dates, right, or if you were to go on a date, what do? Are you gonna interview the guy and ask him questions from jump, or are you gonna get to know him and have conversations with him?
I do a little bit of both when I have been on dates because I don't want to waste your time and I don't want nobody wasting my time. So it's kind of like an interview, right? Like I ask questions like, so where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? You know what I'm saying? Why are you not in a relationship if they don't have kids? Like I ask those questions because one, I have kids. I feel like I'm a very family oriented person, although my family they're all scattered, right? So it's important to me that I'm really big on holidays that whoever I'm with is also has those types of same values. So yeah, I do ask those questions because if you just it's like I say, if you're just looking at one thing, one night thing, or whatever the hell you're trying to do, you need to say it from the get. Don't, because I'm not gonna waste my time. We're not 20, we're not 30. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it that you want? What are you looking for? And then we
Oh,
can go from there.
right.
Because the problem is people are not straight up anymore. They don't. No one wants to be honest about things. Like, just be straight up. Like, say,
Right.
look, we could hang out. It's cool, but I'm not looking for a serious relationship. Why can and I'm a fault man on that. Men don't. They're not honest. You know. at all.
Some.
So we can defend some. I get it because the situation, but there are others that they don't keep it real from the beginning.
So this is my input. And I think I used this with my man if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure he will vouch for this. I say that I cannot articulate to you what I'm gonna be. I cannot tell. I could get because this is my thing. You could interview me, but I could give you everything you want to hear. You
Hmm.
understand? So to me is you should get to know me. You should observe me. You should watch how I move, how I love, how I serve, how I give, how I nurture, right? You should observe my lifestyle. You should see my values speaking very loudly or clearly. Um, you should see how I treat my friends, my family. Like you should observe me. And then as you go observing me, of course, this is only going to be with a person that I might think has potential because we're not about to be doing this shit with everyone that you
Yeah,
date.
you're not gonna
But
be
get to know
6 months
me.
in or a year in.
No, entonces estamos aquí de que todavía. Okay, next. So you should
Right.
get to know me and then decide, okay, is she the one to
Hmm.
go on to the next step? You know, instead of maybe just asking me that silly question from jump. Because my whole thing is I could I could really sit here and I tell you this because I did it to my man. I could sit here and I can listen to you. I'm an observer. Like I will observe if I want to, yeah, as a friendship, as a relationship, as in anything. I'm gonna observe you. I'm gonna read you because at the end of the day, I want to get to know the do's and the don'ts. I want to
Right.
know what you want. So in my relationship with my man, and I say it very proud and loud, I don't care. I observed everything that he wanted. I listened to his conversations. I mean, we talked for a
Definitely
whole.
said used to say I study his ass.
I studied his ass. So before I saw him in person and he took me on my big fancy date, we were talking for like a month. So clearly, a month of conversations every single day. He was probably interviewing me and I didn't notice. And I was interviewing him and he probably didn't notice. But honestly speaking, my interviewing him was more like, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to listen to I'm not gonna ask you all the questions because you know what? I have bad experience that I ask you all these questions because I want to know who you are, what you do, what you bring to the table, what are you looking for. This you're gonna paint me this perfect picture of everything that I want you to be. But guess what? At the end of the day, a few months from now, you turn out to be a fucking woman beater. You're a narcissist. You know, you have no type of emotional support towards me. So it's like, why are we gonna do this? So what I do, I'm gonna study you. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna hear you. I'm gonna do everything that you want me to do. Because once I bring you in and I notice that you're the one, and you really got me in the aspect of like, oh, this girl is really like everything that I wanted. I can't believe we have so much in common. Oh my God, she is the one. Now you
Yeah,
got me. Now I'm gonna start showing you who I really am as a woman. Now the cards are gonna come out. Now we're gonna get to know each other. Now we're on the first date. Now we probably already had sex. Now we went on this. Now we went on that. Now we know the chemistry is there. Now we're moving on. So
exactly.
again, I could be wrong, but I'm just saying that's what worked for me. And this is why I think that men should just not go out there and on the first date because they want the girl so bad, waste $250 on her on a date, and then what? Maybe you went home and you didn't even get the ass. So you wasted all this money for nothing. Like, let's be honest, because you know, a lot of times we could go on a date and we just be like, all right, well, this nigga is not it.
Do all that. I feel like if when the girls, cuando ella tapate, you don't gotta do all that. When let me say, when we know, okay, he could get it. You don't gotta do that much. You get me? But like you said, you got to know, you had conversations, you dated, not because you dated for a week or a month and then you're already in a full blown relationship because a lot of people are guilty of doing that. So
100%.
again, in a month you're gonna know what value the person brings.
Yeah.
There's no, hey, a job gives you 3 months to see if you work for an appointment, you could stay as a permanent or not in three. You know what I'm saying? Most jobs, so it's the same thing. If a job gives you're a temp, basic temporary worker, I forgot what the name is for the first 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Why a relationship can be like that? I'm not
Right.
saying necessarily you got to give 3 months, but I'm saying like people
Oh,
in
90 day probation. 90-day probation. Like, what? when
90
you go
days.
to a job and they be like, the first 90 days, and then we'll decide if you get insurance, if you get
Exactly.
benefits.
Perfect example. In 90 days, okay, let me say in 90 days you brought some sort of value. It literally, like you said, watching how the person is, maybe how they are with work, their friendships, their own
I have
friends.
a question. I have a question. Like this is gonna get like real personal right now. Like so lit. So you just said, how about people wait 90 days, right? So
Mhm.
does that mean that you gotta like not give up the vagina in those 90 days?
Sorry, I can't. I will be. I'll be talking shit if I say wait 90 days because that's bull. Because when
Ay,
even
because
if
ya yo iba a decir,
because
"Mira, y
even
si
if you
eso te pica."
no, not only that, que okay, coge tu gusto y ya, and then lo suelta en banda.
Coge tu moto y sigue por ahí. Si siguió, siguió. Si no, si no. Pero por lo menos di que duramos los 90 días.
That I can I don't agree. They're like, okay, I'm really gonna wait 90 days. Easy is whack.
Yo, and then they you
That's
no, you
that
waited
is
90 days. It was nothing. Oh my
that
God.
is part
And
of the
you just said
value. What if
that
there's
is
no value?
okay. So wait. So do you lose? Hold on. So this is the question. Do you lose value as a woman if you give it? If you're waiting the 90 days to, let's just say, go on a date with the person and you're getting to know them, but you decide that you want to have sex with him before the 90 days is done. Do you lose value as a woman?
I think it depends on the man,
Okay.
right? So that can't even answer that. I think it depends on the man.
I don't even know how to answer that either.
I don't know.
But
Yeah,
not me asking a question that I don't have an answer for.
it's a legitimate question because men could be like, oh shit, I got it, but then be like, oh, she a hoe. Let's be real. That's how they think, but not maybe if you're both adults, like why I gotta wait that long? Like if I want to get it done and I did it and that's it. I guess it depends.
I agree.
We're gonna have to get an input from a man on that part.
Jesus. Okay, so somebody sent me something. Um, I can't show the name, but it's a message. And they said,
Hmm.
I sent you this because I thought about this, and that I this is something that I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and this is what he told me. She said, the reason why I'm sending it to you, copy and paste directly from the sources, is because I feel like you can relate to it in a situation that I think you have been in prior. I don't know what situation she's talking about, but I'm gonna reread this now to you because maybe I'll refresh my memory. So she said, Lord, this message is gonna hit. I had a friend tell me he prefers a pretty woman with low self esteem, someone that isn't opinionated, not independent, and that drives a trashy car but has potential so that he can build her up, but always needs him to give her affirmation so that he can feel better about himself. He was like, if you can mind fuck her real good, she will never leave. I said, you mean manipulate her really good. You can call it mind fuck to make it sound good, but that's manipulation. And you wonder why women come to talk broken and insecure. He said, men don't want a woman that got everything because then he can't fix her. I said, well, then nobody will want me because I'm never going to be a project to be fixed.
Facts.
Ne- Um, We don't all need men, lol. We just want companionship. Why wouldn't you want a woman that can do for herself so when you can no longer, for whatever reason, she can hold you down?
No, that man has low self esteem. He's has low self esteem. He's a narcissist and he's a controller.
Right,
Because
right. I'm thinking that this is when she says that it's really afterwards I'll tell you who said this later. When she said that I could relate to this, I don't probably not so full, but I do think that I know what she's talking about now that I'm reading it. So remember that we talked about one time that when a man has money, he has power, right? And when a man has power, he has control,
right.
right? So I do think that when a man feels like he has more than you, he
Hmm.
has um he's more accessible to things more than you. He
Yeah.
is financially better than you. and he can provide for you, take care for you, and give you things. He's holding you by a leash, right? Because he feels like he has control over you because he is um, the breadwinner, I guess, if that's what we want to call it, right? But I
You
think that it becomes I do think that what she her wording was correct. It is a manipulation thing. I don't think it's just a man saying that he wants a woman that he could fix. First of all, my question is, why would you want to fix her? If anything, don't fucking come to me broken. I don't got time to see him be fucking fixing pieces together and doing fucking puzzles. Stop doing
a puzzle,
puzzles when I was a kid. You understand? Come to me already healed. Come to me already ready. Come to me in as an adult, as a grown man, and as a person who's ready to proceed for the next step in our life. If you're coming to be
exactly,
broken, I cannot fix you because it took me time to fix myself,
right.
right? That would be my response. So I'm gonna say this: when I was a person that I was broken, right? At one point in my life. And I was broken. And I remember that when I was down because I was broken, I had somebody that was on top of me. So
Right.
what happened? That person had control over me mentally, emotionally, and I don't want to say physically, but let's say physically. So what
Hmm.
happened is that anything that was said was more like a manipulation and a command because I felt the need to have to respect, obey, and be obedient. But really, you were trying to fix me and mold me to what you wanted me to be for you. So you
Hmm.
how you wanted me to be in your picture, how you wanted me to be around your circle. So now that you think about it, you were really not helping me for me. You were not helping me because you just wanted to genuinely help me to make me a better woman. You were not doing that. You just wanted to fix me for you, to be around you, your people, your lifestyle. But then from the moment you didn't want me any longer, you would drop me down to the ground and remind me that I am worthless, that I am useless, that I'm a person with kids, and nobody's ever gonna treat me better than you. Nobody's ever gonna give me the lifestyle that you give me. So then you were never trying to help me. You were trying to
Right.
fix me and have control over me to for your needs, for
Right. And it's
your
so person to do probably whatever they wanted to do and no questions asked because you bring
so
in money and you have all this power. I can't question anything.
I do.
I'm sorry.
So I do believe that it was is manipulation, 100%.
Because for me it's like it's okay if you have money and you get a girl that maybe she doesn't have the perfect job or maybe she's a stay-home mom or whatever the case is and you want to elevate her, right? And you want to bring her up and you want to motivate her and hey, look, I feel like you have potential in this. Oh my god, you're really good at this. But for you to sit here and act like this is a project to you, that's crazy.
Yeah, I could definitely. I think now understanding, maybe I responded to her correctly now. I do think that when it comes to that, I could relate as far as that whole part of like, you did want me to be this person because at that moment I wasn't a vulnerable person. I was more like a fix me up project. Like, you need to learn how to do this, you need to do this, you need to be this, and you need to do this. But while I'm thinking that it was just genuinely because you cared, because you wanted better, honestly it wasn't. Because if that was the case, then when people split up, you should be happy that you placed that person in a better place in their life, right? So that now they could be a better person for the next person, instead of bringing them down, knocking them down, and reminding them that, oh, you would never, nobody would ever treat you as good as I did. You would never get this, you would never get that, you were nothing without me, I did this. So at the end of the day, you was never doing anything for me genuinely. You were just doing for me, you were just controlling me, doing
Right.
with me what you wanted at your convenience, because it was a way to have that controlling issues,
Yeah, that's
fixing,
all it is.
because you
It's
you wanted me to be smart, but how smart did you want me to be? You wanted me to be good because people want you to be good, but they don't ever want you to be better than them.
of course not. Of course not. And that's what it is. That's being controlling, you're narcissist because wouldn't you want the girl you with to be on your same level? But the problem is when you're insecure as well, right? You don't want because you don't know how sometimes the girl could be the one to elevate more than the guy. So now you're insecure because damn, but you want to have that control. And a
So
lot of guys use the whole, oh, you're never gonna find a guy because you have kids. That's weird.
always been used that was always something that was always told to me. It's so stupid. So I think that that's definitely what you said. Men, a lot of men don't like to admit it, but they do have insecurity issues.
Yep.
They're super insecure with them, and I also think that it comes from something that has to do with their childhood or how they were raised, how they were brought up. Um, like for instance, we talked about this earlier. Husband versus a provider,
Hmm.
right? So I asked my man, "Do you know how to be a husband or do you know how to be a provider?" And he was like, "Truth be told, my dad never taught me how to be a husband. He taught me how to be a provider." And I could see that
Right.
because I've also, I understand where that's coming from, and I've also just read about it. Um, a lot of men are raised that they just have to provide for their home. By
Right.
providing, you're working, you're paying the bills, you're taking care of home, you sit down, you come home, you watch your TV, you go to bed, that's it. So, do you know the difference between being a provider and being a husband? Because being a husband comes with a lot. Being being compassionate, being affectionate, loving, caring. Um, what else can you think of?
Do you think that men like that, like, could it be how they were raised?
100%. That's exactly what it is.
Like, there are guys that didn't have both parents, or they even have both, but the dad, like you said, didn't show that love or that affection, and maybe the mom too, right? I'm going based off people that I know that till this day still deal with, I don't know how to be affectionate. I'm
Right.
married. I still don't know how to be the best husband or how to be romantic till this day, and be like, because my dad never showed me that.
Or they never saw it.
Yeah. And I think it's a lot of island people, like that Spanish culture, Caribbean island. I see that
Mhm.
so much in that. Like, it's, I don't know. I feel like it's
But that's
important for us to
how,
show.
how do you fix that? How do you become an adult that wants to marry and you marry your husband, but now you got to
Right.
teach him how to be a husband
Right.
because they don't know. But you can't blame him. Can you blame him? You can't blame him. I can't
Can't
blame
blame
you for not being taught this. I appreciate the fact that you were taught to be a provider. That's amazing. But I want you. I want you to be vulnerable too as a man. I want you to feel an emotion. I want you to sit down and tell me that you want to cry because something happened
But
or
I think
somebody died.
society has made men feel like they cannot be emotional,
A
like
hundred
they can't.
percent.
You know what I mean? And
And
that's another thing.
I
I hate
hate
that
that.
too.
And then you have men that because of that, because society or a friend, family, whatever it is, they're not being themselves.
But I'm well. I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm guilty of that. Whenever, like, my boys will get emotional, even when they were younger, and cry, the first thing out of our mouth will be like, "Stop crying. You're not a girl." Like, guilty,
I
guilty.
try not to do that. I try to more like talk. Okay, so we have boys. I have two,
Right.
you have two. I don't want to raise a punk bitch, but I also want my man to have. I also want my son to have feelings and emotions. You know,
Yeah.
I do think that my son is a little bit more on the sensitive side, but I also think it's because he was always raised with us girls. But
Right.
I want him to know the difference between being vulnerable and understanding, being comprehensive, being being compassionate to your partner. I want him
But
to
also
understand, but I want him to also know what it is to be a man, to be
not. Right.
firm. You understand?
Right.
Know how to make the right decisions and know as a man you stand your ground. Because if you're
Mm.
gonna allow women to, they will run all over you. Because truth be told, we have. At the end of the day, anybody can say what they want, but us women, we have all the power in the world if we really want to do whatever the hell we want with men. It's the reality.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So I don't
Keep
want
power.
no little freaking hood booger coming to destroy my kid or break his heart. Cause baby,
What the?
we stuck with that word now. I don't want none. Oh hell no. I'll be damned. I don't know what I'll do. But
Yeah.
that's so. I don't want to ever tell him don't cry. Crying is for pussies. But
It's okay. I think it, like you said, depending on the situation too, because sometimes they be a little extra. But
now, if you're gonna cry because I just told your ass something and now you wanna cry, no, now I'm gonna fucking smack your ass because cry like what I did.
right, para otra cosa tienen ellos su noviecita y no están llorando ahí. Get it
Exactly,
together.
exactly. So yes, I agree. So yeah, that's man. Listen, men better give us some type of credit because today we're being very understanding.
We're not being
Very
biased at all.
what?
We're not being biased at all.
No, at all. We're being very understanding. We're all for that. So okay, so another topic that is very big that has to do with value is how women dress in this generation, in this era of life that we live. So this is a this is a topic that hits me both ways. One, because if you know me based off my social media, or if you know me from hanging out, you know that was a person, am or was, whatever you want to say, that it was very sexy when I dressed, right? I happen to think that um being sexy is like a beautiful thing because you don't have to be naked to be sexy. You could have sex appeal without showing too much. You could you could be sexy and be classy. You could be sexy and be extra. You could be sexy and be it all depends. So I heard a story of somebody said when a woman is dressed too sexy, too naked, she's dressing for her occasion,
Hmm.
for her occupation.
Oh, sheesh.
So if you an Amazon person that dresses with an Amazon uniform is what? Delivering my packages, right?
Yes.
Right? A person that's wearing a firefighter outfit, he is doing what?
Right. He's putting out that fire.
He's putting out the fire, he's saving people, right? A police officer in a police uniform is doing what? Police job, police duty. So if you dress like a hoe, then that's your occupation. You're a hoe.
Yeah, that's how you're gonna be portrayed, and you probably
That's
not
it.
even. Oh,
But that doesn't mean that you're a hoe.
right.
So
Agreed.
that was my disagreement with that because I heard it and I was just like, I don't know, because she talked about something and I was just like, pero espérate, because a mí me gustaba ponerme eso, so entonces ahora yo soy un cuero. I said no, because the day I get married, I want all my bitches dressed in lace. So what we gonna do? So what's their occupation? Are they gonna be hoes at the wedding? So I'm
At your wedding.
confused. I do think that I am at an age, and I think I said this to you, or I don't remember who I said this to earlier. I do think that we go through stages in our life. So again, I'm not saying that people that dress a certain way are a certain way. Well, I am going to say that. Whatever, it is what it is. I do think that certain. It depends. It depends.
Right.
You got to dress accordingly. You got to dress according to your age. You got to dress according to the place. You got to dress according to the where you're going, whatever it is that you're doing. So I don't think that you should stop dressing a certain kind of way, but I do think that how you dress identifies who you are, right?
Agreed.
Unfortunately, as much as we don't want to realize, as much as we don't want to admit to that, is the truth. Because I could be a, um, a doctor during the day at a doctor's office, but if I'm coming in the nighttime and I'm going out dressed in my slutty ass outfit, they don't know that I'm a career woman. I'm a fucking doctor. They just thinking, pero mire este cuerito con su ropa y todo de nuevo, enseñando la tetica ahí para. They don't
Not only
know
that,
that I
running into one of your like clients and you're
or
half naked.
patients. But that's what I'm saying. But again, you're being misjudged, right? Just because of what you're wearing. So that it kind of bothers me because I feel like not it's also, to me, I see dressing, me, and I speak for myself, I see dressing as a fashion statement, right? I don't think that people, I hate when people say, oh, I'm confident so I could wear this. You're
I'm
not being
sorry.
confident when you're wearing that. You're looking for attention, and attention doesn't seek respect. It's the reality. If you're being the person who's calling attention, you're obviously getting no type of respect, because respect and attention don't go.
And that the thing is when people say, "Oh, I'm dressing, I'm confident," there are just certain things that I don't feel like. There's certain things that I wear that I maybe you can't wear, or vice versa, right? Because that doesn't mean because I'm confident that it's okay for me to wear it. Like, absolutely not. Like, and I hate when people say that, like, "Oh, I'm confident, so I could be half naked, or I could be like." For me, if I'm gonna wear, for example, if I'm gonna wear shorts, I'm always gonna have most of this covered, or if I'm gonna do shorts with con una shirt with a tirita, I'm gonna have my boots. Like I can't be showing the legs and I'm also showing here. It's just I feel naked. You know what I'm saying? So I think it all depends how you style yourself as well.
Yeah,
Like
but
come
that's huge, and that you cannot. Well, definitely that whole fashion statement thing to me is really big. But we will have to have a conversation on fashion, because like,
that's
I
a
hate when
whole
people do that, show too much, show here. That bothers me. But yes, I was a person, and I still am a person that, I dress depending on the occasion. I do like to feel sexy, but I'm also very seasonal. So to me, I go into what's in, and I'm not going what's in because I'm looking on Instagram. I'm going on into the fashion because I'm watching the fashion week. I'm watching people in Paris. I'm watching this, and I'm like, damn, this is how I didn't know. Damn, I like this. Unfortunately, I can't wear all those things that I see. But if I could try to imitate certain things, I would. Well, back then, because I'm not even into dressing like that anymore right now. But what I'm saying is that everything is a season. So when I was dressing very scandalous and always showing, the little bit I had, because I didn't have nothing back then, it was because, one, I was single, and two, I was trying to fit in with people that I was hanging with. Is the
yeah,
truth. I had to fit that lifestyle. So when I was the girl that had no boobs and a little butt, I'm hanging out with girls that got boobs, butt, face, hair, this, that. Guess what? I gotta dress sexy so I can fit in with them, because then I'm not fitting into that lifestyle. So that was a season in my life. Then I realized that for everything else, I could dress however I want to dress to complement me, how I feel. I'm not dressing for others. I'm dressing for what I like. If I like this, everybody knows I have a thing for lace. I love lace. If I could wear lace, anything and everything, I will. Does it mean that I'm going to show up to my mother-in-law's house in a lace ass outfit with nipple covers and a coochie cutter? No, I'm not. But that doesn't mean
absolutely.
that I'm not going to wear lace if I go out with my man, or if I want to be sexy.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Or if it's a birthday and I want to have a nice lace outfit on, or a dress, I love lace, but lace is something that I love. So if me wearing lace means that I'm a hoe, then hey, deme mi título si me lo quieren dar. But I
No, that's
like that.
because I
No,
think it's
because
so
I
yeah, like if that's crazy. Like if you do lace, and okay, let's say you have the nipple covers, but the bottom is like boy shorts.
or spandex or something.
Like, it's not like tú te estás poniendo un cover solamente adelante, and then you're showing. Come on now.
That's what I'm
But
saying. So it's
I
like,
think when you're out with your man, it doesn't. Does it really matter how as long as you're respecting him and he's okay, then you wear whatever. Because the
yeah.
fuck, you're with him,
That's
you're
another
leaving with him,
thing.
and you're coming
Some
with
men
him.
are okay, some men are not. Because there's like, my man, for instance, he's very like, he likes me being sexy, don't get me wrong. He'll compliment me, he tells me. He's not gonna stop me from doing what I'm used to doing, because he's like, but he's gonna give me his opinion on it. And giving me his opinion is already more than enough, because baby, the way his opinion comes out is it's not all there. So his thing is, you're being accessible to everyone when you're dressing a certain way, then it's
Right.
not exclusive for me. So it doesn't matter, because you're with me, I have to allow you to be naked, because then how is that for me? That's for everybody. So then
Hmm.
what's for me if the same
Right.
people watching you in the streets are watching you how I watch you?
No, that's true. And the thing is that nowadays men are not respectful. Like you could be out with your man and you can be standing in a bar. and you're ordering drinks and another person comes and they will talk to you and your man is standing right there and it's like, hello, I'm with somebody. Or your man walk the minute, come on, there's people that are shady as hell. The minute your man walks away to that bathroom, they're gonna come up to you. I know
Yeah,
you just saw me talking to him. You know what I mean? So there's no respect, and I could understand where he's coming from, because if that's the case, then if you're for the streets, then be in the streets. Don't be
yeah,
showing my goodies. That's how he's seeing it. Don't show my goodies.
exactly. I was so definitely that whole conversation with the dressing. It's important. It's serious. We will obviously have to get into another topic of dressing because I do agree with that. But again, like I was saying, I do, and I'm sure probably you do too. But I dress according to how I feel. It's my season thing. Like before, I was dressing very sexy, very provocative, very this. But now I'm like, because I don't really feel comfortable with my body yet, but I dress still, don't get me wrong. I still rock my leggings and my crop top. I mean, I'm wearing a crop top now, but
No, of course.
there's that my arms are always covered. If you know me, anything you know about me, you know that my arms and my turtleneck, I wear them shits in 100 degrees weather, baby. That shit does not fail. But what I'm saying is that doesn't mean I'm not gonna wear that anymore. I still wear my little stuff. My leggings, I always wear my sweatpants, but I'm also very diverse. I rock sweatpants and hoodies every fucking day, and I'll look cute with some sneakers, and I could rock them with some heels. You understand? I could be sexy in some jeans and a nice blouse, or some jeans and a corset top, or some jeans and a bodysuit. I could wear a turtleneck long sleeve dress, might be mini, might be meaty, might be long. But at the end of the day, to me, that's already being sexy. I don't need to do the most. And I also know that I have to dress accordingly because you know what? Truth be told, I do have a 1 year old now. So when I'm out in the
Yeah,
streets, aside from having a 16, a 13 year old, 1 year old.
yeah. Especially when you have a teenager daughter too, it makes it hard. Like you got to be like setting the example. Like I saw on social media the other day, the a mom waiting at the bus stop for her kid, and she was literally half naked. It's like, are you crazy? Like I don't care if you're going to wait for them in the bus stop. You could at least put some clothes on. Like I've seen stuff on social media. I'm like, wait, like the mom's going to a war ceremony with some Daisy Dukes. It's like, why?
Oh no, baby, yes, I've seen that all. I've seen that in Miami when I was working at the school. I would see the way these parents would go pick up. First of all, in that school, there was a lot of girls that used to work at Booby Trap that would go pick up their kids, and I'm just like, I just saw you last night.
Shame. No comment. I mean, fine, but damn.
Like at least put out something to cover yourself. Like I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Again, I don't want to know what your occupation is.
Right. Like you don't need to be in your booby trap outfit.
So
Shout out to booby
I do think, shout out to the person that said that the other day on social media, but I do think that
trap.
you dress semi for your occupation. So okay, so what would be my occupation right now?
It's given teacher.
Teacher with the crop top? I got crop top and legging, and no, I got crop top and sweats.
Well, obviously, if we're not looking at the bottom,
Let me see you. Let me see you. Sit up a little bit like this. It's
I just
giving.
have a little.
Alright, it's
It's
giving. I'm home, but don't call me to go somewhere because I will show up in this little dress.
cute.
Baby, what's your occupation?
People need to stop texting me.
Yo,
Like,
I can't. It's just so funny. The things that you hear, the more you start getting in tune with everything. You're like, okay. Let me see. I think I kind of more or less covered everything when it came to that. I talked about how men are still masculine, but women aren't as feminine anymore. Most women are all about themselves, and truth be told, I'm gonna throw shade at women, but it's the truth. Y'all need to stop thinking that it's just y'all. Like, bitch, y'all need a man. Like, just stop it. I hate the whole I don't need a man. You need a man. You need a
and
man.
I think we've all gone through that little phase because I'm guilty of saying, I don't need a man. I don't need a man. I could do all this by myself, but in reality, you need that. You know
You
what I'm
need
saying?
just listen. It's okay to be a woman who has it. It's okay to be a woman who's a provider also. It's okay to be a woman who is financially stable, mentally stable, a healed woman, a hardworking woman, a great mom. It's okay to be all of that because I know a lot of beautiful women that are like that. I still need a man because at the end of the day, you want that companionship. You want that friend. You want that lover. You want that affection. You want that attention. Y tú quieres a alguien que te lo mete y te dé tu gustico. Because you're gonna
There's
tell me,
women that have really good men at home and they don't even value that. So value what the hell you got. There's nothing in the streets.
all right, say it again, say it again, say it again for the people in the back.
What you got at home. These women that don't value the men they have at home because there's nothing in the streets. Nothing in the streets. Let me tell you.
Look,
So
women need to, and another thing that I wrote earlier. This is my advice to women: stop trying to convince men that you're the catch. Stop it. Because I get it. We give power to men, we give power to women. But
mhm,
sometimes women lose their dignity trying to show that man that she's the one. You don't have to
right,
do that. You shouldn't have to do that. You're the catch. You're always the catch.
right,
Don't lose yourself trying to find that man. Please don't.
yeah,
That's to me, that is so important because I see women how they they lose their value as a woman because they're trying to fix themselves for that person. They're
right,
trying to be that perfect woman for that person. They're trying to portray an image of who they're not for that person. But my point is, what if that person ain't your person?
exactly.
So what did you do? Wasted your time? You did all of this for him, for now he's still gonna go look for his person because you were not his person from jump. Because if you gotta do all of that and fix yourself to be that person for that person, then he's not your person.
No, yeah, exactly.
That's just my advice. I
When
could be
you
wrong.
know.
Yeah,
No, but
when
it's
you know
true.
I could be wrong, I could be right. But don't lose your dignity for a man. You shouldn't. You know, and vice versa. Men shouldn't lose their
And
dignity
vice
for
versa.
women.
Exactly.
Know your value. Stay on your value. Stand on your value. Know your worth. You know, I feel like we sometimes we forget that, and we have to learn how to be a little bit more selfless. That's the right word. Listen,
Agreed.
I'm trying to always remember to write things down because lately, like my mind is just I don't know what it is. You know, having a baby at this age, like baby bombastic, is hard. My mind is everywhere. I can't like I'm literally I was talking to you when we started, but at the same time I heard him crying. So in my mind I'm already calculating like I gave him
What's
milk, I didn't
going
give him milk, he just got shot. My mind is running out of thousand like nigga, this is hard. Like I
on?
just
Mode.
want him to pass this stage right now because he's very like, very delicate still. Um Everything scares me. I'm always like super mom paranoia. So
You'll
moving
be
forward, I
fine.
want to learn how to write things down so I can do things better and be better. That's my goal for the end of the until the end of the year is write things down, be better so I could do better. Because if you knew better, you do better. And if you don't know, now you know, nigga.
A Diddy.
Ah, no, Diddy.
No Diddy for real.
Oh my God. So, is there anything else you want to cover before we close this?
I think that this was a very valuable podcast episode. No, it was good. It was good. I think that, it's important, like you said, don't be oh, can I take out a dinner in 24 hours that you meet a person? No, get to know them, have conversations, talk,
Yeah,
talk, talk. And people learn how to talk over the phone. People nowadays, they also just want to be texting, 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 texting. Like,
correct.
I don't mind texting, but have conversations. Like, you could learn a lot by a phone call and actually speak. Like, that's important. Don't be killing me with the text message. I like
Yeah,
pick up the call. Like, I like to talk on the phone for sure.
I agree. Well, you already know, guys, this was it for this episode. Remember, here we always keep it real, raw, and unfiltered. Make sure you don't forget to go ahead and subscribe. Click that little button on the bottom. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our Instagram at Set It Off Podcast. Don't forget, it's very important that you do so you can always stay connected with us. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you so much for following us and showing us love. It was an honor to have you here. Continue talking about these things that always interest us because we like this. Keep sending us your questions, insights, thoughts, opinions. We're always open to discuss them. If you want to join us one day on the show and be an extra host, you're more than welcome to. We never say no to that. We love hearing everybody's story, everybody's insights. So you already know. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. Good night.
Bye.